All right, welcome. This is the Live Bold Movement podcast, and we're doing a unique sort of perspective, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, Jacob Alvarado,
Yes.
welcome. Yes.
Well, thank you for having me.
These incredible, beautiful studios that I'm sitting in are his studios, Ignite Fire Media, and yeah, and we have another special guest here.
She's the star of the show.
I love it. Remind me her name.
Sarabi.
Sarabi.
Yes.
Love it. Yes. And so, yeah, we're kind of just going to, even though this is like a Live Bold Movement episode, we are going to have you kind of interview me as a guest on my own show. I love it.
And for those who don't know who I am, my name is Jacob. I am the founder of Ignite Fire Media, and I also have a ministry called Ignite Fire International, and we do evangelistic Christian content. Oh, and let's fix
Real life.
that.
I love it. No, this is awesome because it's so cool how God works because one of our bold sisters who we actually started meeting for the very first time at a location called Phoenix Strange Brew, which is not there anymore physically, but still exists at a new cafe right here in Glendale. And I had no idea that we had that like mutual connection. When I first started seeing your stuff, I'm like, why does this look so familiar? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, Tish Goebel was at your event that you hosted.
Yes.
And sadly,
she was on the podcast too.
I know.
Yes.
Yes. And she was on ours at the very beginning, one of our very first guest episodes. And yeah, we used to meet at her location. So I love that. And she's going to be leading prayer at our Live Bold retreat.
That's awesome.
This Saturday. Oh my goodness.
It's coming up.
It's coming up so quick.
So then that's the question. So what is Live Bold? And share a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a loaded question. How much time do we have? So first of all, BOLD is an acronym for brave, obedient, loyal, and determined.
Oh,
and so it's all these traits that we want to embody as Christ followers, as women, men too, obviously, but our organization is just for women. And also just, as we're stepping into whatever God is calling us to. Mm-hmm. And so I really wanted to redefine that word bold because, I'm kind of like a, what you would picture as a bold personality. I'm kind of like the outspoken, loud, kind of, always was life of the party,
That's why we get along here.
Right? Oh my gosh, I know. Jeff was telling me this story of how you said you just got up this morning and you had done a bunch of work on your phone before you got out of bed yet. I was like, oh, he's so my people.
Absolutely.
I'm a late night person for sure. And yeah, I will sit there on my phone doing things before I actually get up to start the day. But yeah, so I was really getting into the personal growth and development world, which I love, but what I started to realize as I was also growing much deeper in my faith was they're leaving Jesus out.
Oh, yeah.
And they were, they would sprinkle God in here and there, it was like very high level, but it wasn't centered.
Yeah, give me the principles, but leave Jesus out.
Yeah. And then it was funny too, to just like look at all the different things they were using, meditation, manifestation, like all of these things are biblical principles.
Oh, yeah.
And then they took the Bible out of it. And it just became this like new age stuff. And, rewind a while back, like I was very into all of that, and as I was growing in my faith and realizing like, yes, personal growth and development is so important, but it needs to be rooted in our faith.
Absolutely.
And our identity in Him. And there's so much about it. I actually did, a pretty bold post the other day just about like the world says this and the word says this.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of contradiction,
so
I mean, it just started as I was actually sitting at an event that very similar to what we're creating this Saturday. However, again, a secular event, amazing Christian woman who's hosting it, but it was for the masses.
Yeah.
And it was not rooted in faith, but we were told to write down, these visions, our vision for what we were going to be walking into the event the next year.
Oh,
a year
okay.
from that day. And God dropped in this vision of basically what is coming. You know, and including the podcast too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like, this was almost 2.5 years ago. So I'm writing and, you know, it's like, and you're writing it as if you're grateful that it already happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm like talking about the community that of women that I
And you know
have.
that's so biblical too.
Exactly.
It's so biblical. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. So, yeah, I'm writing down about the community I'm going to be having and about the podcast I'm going to be celebrating and the retreat that I'm planning and all this stuff. And lo and behold, like a year later,
Now it's
I'm doing
here.
all those things. And yeah, so I connected actually with another woman who we both were like, love all my Scottsdale ladies. I love you all, but everything is over in Scottsdale. Like everything. And I'm like, I'm so sick of driving to
Yeah.
Scottsdale for everything, every networking event, every big, you know, personal development conference, like all the things. It is, yeah. I was like, we need something on our side of town.
Oh yeah.
And so I connected with another lady and she felt the exact same way. And so we started. But rewind real quick, we also realized as we decided to start, we lived on opposite sides of the town.
Oh, okay.
So we started.
Was she in Scottsdale?
No, no. Chandler and
Oh,
North,
wow,
and
that's
North Phoenix.
really- that's
We're
really
talking opposite sides
complete
of
opposite.
the valley. And it was, okay, we'll just do both.
Yeah.
So within the first couple months, I mean, it was just exhausting.
Sure.
And we started as a faith-based business networking group.
Oh, okay.
And I realized really quickly, like God was, you know, speaking to me like, this is not the direction that I'm calling you in because
Yeah.
it's not my background.
Yeah.
I come from having a corporate job. I was a corporate accountant, CPA, you know, I left that to be a full-time mom.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I'd been doing. I dipped my toes into entrepreneurship as a network marketer.
Yeah.
I still have a network marketing business, but that wasn't my focus.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
this personal growth and development. And my business partner, her background was entrepreneurship, being a business coach, all these things. So it was like the business networking part made sense
Yeah.
for her. That was her expertise. And so we just had this talk and heart to heart. And, you know, that was just having, you know, the courage to have a tough conversation. But we realized, oh my gosh, yes, we're feeling the exact same thing because you're called to this, I'm called to this. And we better practice what we preach
Yeah.
and actually do what we're called to do because this is what we're telling everybody else to do. So yeah, we split off and, you know, she did her faith-based business networking, still is. And I moved into the Christian personal growth and prayer-powered personal growth is
Yeah.
what I call it. Yes. So, and yeah, it was just, I had all these people reaching out to me like, oh, that community looks amazing, but I don't have a business. Or, you know, I really need a group of women like this, but I'm just a mom. And that like broke my heart because
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, I've been just a mom. Nobody's just a mom. Let me
No,
just
I was
clarify
gonna say,
that.
I was like, just
Right
a mom.
there, toughest
Wait a
job
minute.
I've ever done in my life, still to this day, and the most rewarding. And but yeah, it was like I knew that he was calling me, and the kicker was as we were trying to plan our very first Christmas party. So we have our monthly meetings and then we do quarterly social events where everybody's, not just members. It's open to anybody to come because we know a lot of people can't meet on a weekday.
Yeah.
You know, ours meets the first Monday of every month.
Okay.
And so, you know, so that does, you know, attract a lot of moms, a
Yeah.
lot of entrepreneurs and things like that. So people who work a corporate job or something like that, they can't attend those. So we do these quarterly social events. And the first one we were going to do was a Christmas party. And because we were brand new, we didn't want to do two. We found a location. Guess where it was?
We're,
Scottsdale.
of course.
Of course. But it was a centrally located.
Yeah.
And so I was out there. Great friend offered to allow us to use the space in their apartment building over there in Scottsdale. And I went to look at the space and I'm driving home and I'm on one of the busiest intersections. It was like Thunderbird and something, I can't remember, like 8-lane, you know, stoplight. And I'm pulling in the middle and I'm running out of gas.
Oh no.
right smack in the middle of the intersection. And I said, I've never heard God audibly speak to me, but I had the biggest Holy Spirit download right there where he was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I told you to do this on your side of town and you are in Scottsdale.
Oh.
Yes. And so it was like, that was that really, that final confirmation of like, okay, this has to be done differently.
Yeah.
So we launched in January as the Live Bold movement, as it is now, and of January of 23. So
Okay.
it's been a little over a year. And then just like I said, we just started meeting monthly. They're always so powerful when we're in those rooms. I mean, I joke, like I have to bring enough Kleenex for every single table because they're always just, women need this safe space to come and they want to share about, yes, their big dreams, these visions
Yeah.
God's giving them, the calling that he's bringing to them, but also just their biggest insecurities, their deepest vulnerabilities. And literally every single person is like, wow, you feel that from the minute you walk into that room.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And it doesn't matter where, like we finally, after a year, we'd been praying and praying and praying for a church location. And like I said, we've been meeting at coffee shops. We met at the library. I mean, we've been all over trying to find, and finally a church location came through. So this past January of 24, we launched at the Desert Breeze Community Church.
I know exactly where that's at.
Yes.
On 17, I used to go to that church.
So it's a perfect central location right there
Yeah.
for everybody. You know, like I said, I'm North Phoenix. We have women, of course, we have women who come from Buckeye. Like it's that powerful that it's that, like I said, it's that space where you can come and just, you're seen, you're known, you're heard. And we are praying each other up. I mean, one of our guest speakers was commented on the fact, like, I love how you guys just go to the flow and just stop. Be like, wait, we need to pray about this. Circle up, everybody lay hands. Like, and so we just do it. And, you know, sometimes we have guest speakers and then obviously, I mean, besides the prayer, the most powerful are our table discussions.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting at round tables and that's when you really get into these conversations and the connections that God has made there has just been mind blowing.
That's awesome. How did you guys get connected at Desert Breeze? I know Pastor Davis, Ray Davis is awesome. His wife. I used to work in the bistro, so that's how we have. So for those who are in the studio, we have an espresso machine, and so I learned how to use that at Desert Breeze.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So that was a connection through one of the women in our community.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. She mentioned we were meeting at a coffee shop. Or a cafe. And it was just really hard because it was the one day that they were closed. So, and she was just getting started and it was, you know, coming in on the one day off and, you know, having trouble finding staff during that time. And so I would get stressed like, oh no, is somebody going to show up to actually let us in? Like,
yeah.
And it was such a beautiful space. And now we actually meet for our weekly Bible study.
That's awesome.
There, to actually bring them business during a time when they're open. So it was mutually beneficial that we actually moved to this church location. But yeah, she was one of our members is a financial advisor and one of their clients is somebody at Desert Breeze. I don't know his role. I think he's on the board. I think it's one of the board members.
Okay.
That's yeah. So yeah, we, you know, that's the power of connection all the time.
So when is the event, date, time, and then what's the address? Because I know where it's at, but I don't know the address. But go ahead and share that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So the event, it'll be annual, is the Live Bold Retreat. It is Saturday, February 17th, this Saturday coming up, and the courtyard will open it's the Dawes Wedding and Event Venue downtown. I don't know the exact address. It's on Polk Street.
Okay.
Right smack
But there should be a
downtown.
link, right?
There's absolutely a link.
So we'll have a link.
It'll all be in the show notes. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, so it has a beautiful courtyard. So praying for Arizona weather, please.
It's been kind of chilly.
I know.
It's been a little chilly.
And we've had crazy rain.
Oh yeah.
Which most of the time I love because coming from the Midwest, I usually hated rain, but like here I actually love
don't
it
get very
because it's one day in, one day out, and we have had a lot more than just one day.
Oh yeah.
So I'm speaking that. I'm claiming that. It's going to be beautiful
In
Arizona
Jesus' name.
sun, exactly, to enjoy this beautiful courtyard. The coffee truck will be arriving at 8:30 a.m. So technically online it says 8:45, but
It'll be there early.
ready. It'll be ready for you if yes.
For the
that is
early- for the early birds.
That is included in your ticket. Come out, grab some coffee. And, photo ops out in this beautiful courtyard. They have a waterfall, all the things. So doors will officially open at 9 a.m.
Okay.
For registration. And we will have vendor shopping of all these amazing businesses, brands that are fully aligned with our Christian values. We were very intentional about every single vendor, sponsor, speaker, every single thing, very, very intentional about who we were bringing into this space to just make it a powerful experience and just aligned, like I said, with our values. And so then it'll kick off officially at 9:50. 9:50. That is
That's like when I wake up.
that was like I know, seriously. This will be hard for me. Just yes. I'll be surrounded by all my people for my energy.
Yes,
And
yes.
Jesus, of course. First and foremost.
Jesus and coffee.
100%. Yes. It's funny. I actually have I want to make a shirt that says this girl runs on Jesus and CBD.
Oh, okay.
That's my thing. Side note, that's my network marketing
Okay,
business that I
okay.
have as a CBD business. So that will be one of the shopping there. So, and it's just going to be an incredible day of just different speakers, panel discussions, Q&A, some really powerful journaling exercises and different things that we're going to do. I don't want to give away all the secrets.
Yeah,
Obviously, you got to be there to experience it. And in all honesty, you couldn't actually put it into words of what the in-person experience is. But it is a full day. It is packed. I've had several people like, how are you fitting this all into one day? I'm like, I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, we have lunch on site. Healthy and wonderful, prepared by Prepped AZ, and then we will be having a taco cart for dinner and a fun mocktails dance party. Like
yeah.
it's a full day. We go all the way to 8:30 at night. Like it's everything's included, and it's gonna be so much fun.
And see, this is something that's needed because I know that there's always a lot of things for men. There's a lot of men's groups, get-togethers. Grill and chills. All kinds of things that are happening, and there should be something solid like this for the ladies.
Yep.
So this is awesome.
Thank you. Yes, and that was the thing. It's like there actually is a lot of stuff for women. It's just not faith-based.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
there's
Gotcha.
a ton of personal growth and
Yeah.
networking and all the things, but it's like I said, we want to really center that real personal growth is spiritual growth.
Yeah.
And if it's not bringing you closer to God and your relationship with Him, your calling in Him, your assignment, all the things, then it's not really personal growth.
Absolutely. Address the spirit and the mind and the body will follow.
Yep. Oh, one of the coolest things that I've learned through starting to go to these other type events. I've been to a few, not in Phoenix. I traveled to several in the last year as I've been preparing for hosting my own and spoken on a few of those stages. And I just totally lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that?
I can't help you with that one.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, you said the thing about it was so we've always heard, or at least I don't know, I've always heard like the whole like mind, body, spirit or mind, body, soul or stuff. And
Yeah.
one of the things that has been clarified and been so cool is to learn that it's body, soul, and spirit. And that the soul is our mind, our
Will, the
emotions, our will.
emotions, yep.
Yes. And just that clarification was so cool to learn. And that came the first time I really heard it and really dug into it was one of the speakers who had been, a pioneer in the self-help industry. And she'd done it for years, not knowing God. Or knowing of Him, believing in Him, but not having a relationship.
Really knowing Him.
Yes, with Jesus. And then when she really learned that and to incorporate that into, she was like, self-help was missing the mark, and it was so cool to just learn that and just dig into the whole connection there.
Absolutely.
Because we're, yes, we have a body. We're this vessel that we have and we're supposed to take care of it here on earth.
Yeah.
And, but then we're a soul that has, like you said,
Oh, yeah.
the mind, the emotions, the will. and then we're a spirit, and that's our eternal
Yes.
being. And it was so cool to dig into that. And what I didn't mention is, so Live Bold, we have like a framework basically that is the 7 F's. And we have when I started, actually, I had faith as a pillar. And God convicted me. And he's like, and I was having trouble kind of like incorporating. I was like, okay, well, faith into your finances and faith into your family, but then I'm like, how do I do this? And he was like, faith can't be a pillar. It has to be the foundation. Otherwise, what are the pillars standing on, right?
Yeah.
So faith is the foundation, and then 7 pillars of family, freedom, finances, pharmaceuticals, which farm with an F. That's my play on words, fitness, food, and fun. And so those are all these components. There's going to be some sort of component, whether it's a speaker, a discussion panel, an activity at the event to incorporate all these different pillars of your life, and all centered on the foundation of faith.
That's awesome.
So yeah. Oh, water here.
No, that's really good. The college that I went to, Charis Bible College, they have a whole course on body, soul, and spirit.
Yeah.
And the founder is Andrew Womack, and he's all over YouTube and around the world. But that's one of the core subjects in the school.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome that you guys are touching on that.
Yeah. Yep. That's so cool. I mean, that's the thing. They're all intertwined.
Yeah.
You can't just leave one out.
No.
And that's a lot of times what happens, right? Whether you're super focused on getting your body healthy, or, super focused on personal growth, but it's more about your mindset and just going for, like I said, worldly ambition and all those things. So, So when we center it all on our spiritual growth and combining all of those so that we're truly growing into wholeness, So
allowing the spirit to guide us instead of our mind and our will, our emotion, our bodies, our emotions telling us what to do.
Yep.
taking the reins. There's a book called now I can't think of the name, but I remember the picture is this man is holding on to dear life to this horse, and the name of the horse is the emotions. And the man's just holding on for dear life, and his emotions are taking control instead of him taking control of his emotions. So that's pretty awesome. So so is there anything else that you would want to share with the audience of particularly for this event that's coming up?
Oh man, I mean, so much. Like I said, you just being someone who loves to go to these type of in-person experiences, a lot of times I will just be hyping up the excitement of it. But what I also want to touch on is that person who is utterly terrified to walk into a room like this.
Oh,
that is the exact reason why you should be coming to this. And let me tell you, none of this would be happening if I hadn't just showed up at this other event, the one that I was telling you that I was writing this vision out completely by myself.
Oh, okay.
Completely by myself. And it was funny. That was kind of like my first time just stepping out and being like, and starting to embrace, being bold and actually putting myself in these rooms. You hear it all the time in this industry about get in the room. And like I said, some people, they understand that and they're like, oh yeah, it's that excitement and that hype is created and they don't want to miss out and they know how powerful it's going to be. But there are so many more people who have never experienced anything like this.
Yeah.
And so, and the thought of walking into a space like this
where they don't know anybody
exactly. And so let me just assure you, you will not be alone for more than 2 seconds. The minute you step into that courtyard, you're going to be greeted by you're just family in this community, whether you've been part of it or not. Like every single person has commented this is the room I've prayed for. These are the people I've prayed for. It just, as it grows, it doesn't lose that. It doesn't matter how big it gets. Every single person who walks in there, you're immediately greeted as if you're family, because you are.
Yeah.
We're all part of the body of Christ.
We're all
we are
kingdom.
our sisters in Christ. And and they truly embody that and you feel it. So
that's awesome.
I just want to encourage anybody who, when they hear the thought of that and it scares the crap out of you, like that's even more of a reason to show up because we
Yeah.
want to welcome you and move you past that. So, and we're meant to be in community.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
we were hardwired by God to be in, and not just community. There's a difference too. Like community is kind of a buzzword lately, you know, and it's so important, but true fellowship,
Yeah.
like truly doing life together with each other. Like these women don't just show up once a month or once a year. Now there's
stay
an annual-
connected.
Yes, we are connected in an online community,
that's
online
awesome.
membership community where it's off of social media and you can go deep and you can share those, you know, prayer requests and praise reports and things and just other things that you have going on. We support each other. We
Yeah.
promote each other's events and things. Some of them do have businesses or
Yeah.
people are leading ministries or starting something new. Like we're in there
Mm-hmm.
supporting each other. And it really just is about that connection that you need to walk through life together
Yeah.
and stay grounded in your faith in this crazy world.
That's what we need. That's what we need. It's the foundation to build the rock on, right?
100%. And that's my foundational verse, which is actually my birthday verse.
Really?
Matthew 7:24.
Okay,
Yes, which I
okay.
should be able to recite it right now, but it's building it on the rock, you know?
Yes.
And
That's one of my favorite verses. I remember I was sharing with our men's group. I said, hey, you know, everyone talks about Jesus being the rock. I said, but Jesus did say, if you did what I said, you would be the wise man who builds his house on the rock. And if you don't do what I say, you're the foolish man who built his house upon the sand.
Yep.
And I said, so everyone wants to just say, hey, I'm building my house on the rock, but you're not doing what he said. There's going to be a problem when the storm comes.
yep, absolutely. And been there.
Mm-hmm.
I have been there. Yes. So, yeah. And truly, this is like creating what I needed
Yeah.
and what I wish I would have had when I was that person in the storm and built completely on sand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. And
That's awesome. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So all the links will be in the show notes. They'll be
Yes.
in the description. So that's how they can get connected. Is there a website that they can check out?
Yep. And that's just TierneySherrell.com.
Okay.
So, and everything's linked there. You can sign up for the Sisterhood newsletter and get a free devotional and an exclusive discount code for $100 off your ticket.
That's awesome.
So definitely jump on there and grab that. Every single one of our speakers and sponsors has a discount code.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are connected in with any of that, all of that's on our Instagram and on the website
Yeah.
for the retreat. So you can go on there and support any one of them. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, this sounds like it's going to be a treat for the ladies this coming weekend. And so I'm excited to share this with my wife and then have her get connected with a group of ladies where she can grow with. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been so fun.
Well,
Seriously.
thank you for having me on your
Right?
show.
I love it. I love it. Yes. And seriously, if you are any type of content creator, podcaster, musician, just any type of media person, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
get in contact this space. I mean, look at it. Look around. And he customized everything to like your colors. And it's beautiful. And
thank you.
obviously you have top of the line equipment here. I don't have this recording in my, no, I do not.
Well, thank you.
So I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Well, thank you. And so thank you guys for watching. And until next time, we love you. God loves you and God bless.
Amen.